Hi guys, this is Raghav here from Headphone Zone. Another video, and I'm back to talk to you about another collaboration. And this one is our biggest one yet here at Headphone Zone. Today I'm going to talk to you about a massive new IEM that we've been working on for several months now, and I couldn't be more excited to share it with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the brand new Headphone Zone X Oriveti OD200 in-ear monitors. It's been several months in the making. It's a very special IEM, and I'm dying to tell you all about it in today's video. Alright, the Headphone Zone X Oriveti OD200. This has been a collaboration that I've been very excited about, and one that has been several months in the making. So for a lot of y'all who aren't familiar with Oriveti, they're a very nice premium boutique manufacturer of in-ear monitors based out of Hong Kong. And they've been around for a while now. They've had several massive products that they've released over the years that the audiophile community has grown to love and respect. Oriveti, of course, is not a massive company as you would think of as compared to several other brands which are out there. They're still a very small boutique manufacturer, which means that they make all their products with a lot of heart and passion. And that's been something that's been common across all their products, whether they're affordable in-ear monitors at 5,000 rupees or super premium high-end in-ear monitors at 2 lakh rupees. All their products carry a lot of heart and passion, which is why when we approached them to do a potential collaboration specifically for the Indian audiophile community, they instantly said yes. They would love to be able to do that, because to be able to make something special for the guys at Headphone Zone and for the Indian audiophile community would have been something that would have come as a project of pure passion and nothing else. Alright, so last year Oriveti released the OD200, which was their single dynamic driver in-ear monitor, and it immediately had a cult following amongst the audiophiles all around the world. And it's an IEM that used to retail for about $200 US all around the world, and in India about less than 20,000 rupees. At the price, it certainly offered a very premium package, a premium offering, and was something that everybody loved, not just for its sound quality, but for the overall package, accessories and finish that this IEM offered. It had a genuine leather carrying case, it had a really high quality balanced cable with interchangeable plugs, and it came with a beautifully machined aluminum shell. Everything contributed to it being an absolute winner in the audiophile community. But here in India, you found that 20,000 rupees was a very premium price point, with only the most discerning customers wanting to get their hands on this product, with only people who had heard it and had loved the Oriveti brand wanting to buy them. So for us, the most important goal of the collaboration with Oriveti was to make the sound of the OD200 available and accessible to more people in the audiophile community, to make this product more affordable. And so we started with the goal of making this product available in India for less than 10,000 rupees, or half the price. And I'm very happy to share with you that this, the Headphone Zone X Oriveti OD200, is in fact now available for less than 10,000 rupees, which was not an easy goal to achieve, and I'm so glad that the team from Oriveti helped us achieve it. So what's the story? How did we do that? How did it make it possible for us to be able to make this product over 50% lower than what the predecessor was? And I don't know if I can give you a very good answer, except to say that when we collaborate with these brands and we work with the goal in mind, the manufacturers, everybody along the supply chain quite literally comes together to make the right kind of changes, to make the economies of scale happen, to ultimately make the product available at the target price that we wanted. And the team at Headphone Zone was more than happy to work with them to make that reality happen. We've not compromised on the quality of the finish, the material, or the accessories that have been included in the box. Almost everything that you get with the stock $200 OD200 from last year is available in the box for the brand new OD200 here in collaboration with Headphone Zone. The change that is most visible though is that instead of going with the dark racing green color that the shells had on the original OD200, the Headphone Zone X Oriveti OD200 are a beautiful matte black finish. Just a very simple black that goes beautifully along with the complete package that makes it look absolutely gorgeous. That and the fact that it includes this really high quality black carry case which is made out of genuine pure leather and a black balanced cable are the only visual changes from the original OD200, one that we think specifically appeals to everybody out there who's looking for an IEM at the 10,000 rupee price point. It's minimalistic, it's simple, but it helps us save some costs and give you a fantastic looking product that is now available to everybody. All right, even if you consider that Headphone Zone is now putting out an in-ear monitor at 10,000 rupees, it's by no means a cheap, inexpensive product. It's a very premium aspirational product, and I want to tell you why it's such a special IEM that even at twice the price is an amazing bargain. For 10,000 rupees, you get a lot. For one, the IEMs themselves are made out of a single piece of aluminium, and it's a very high quality aluminium, and it's completely machined out of a single piece of metal. And it's beautiful, it's really durable, and it looks fantastic. Included along with the shell, you find that it has a really nice finish, and it has a 2-pin connector with detachable cables. And the cable is really what's special out here, because this is an 8-core fully balanced cable that comes in the box. Most other IEMs need you to buy a balanced cable separately, especially if you're using a balanced DAC. And you'd often have to get a cable that would cost you 3,000-4,000 rupees, sometimes even more. This cable alone is probably worth 5,000-6,000 rupees only because of how premium it is, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It's super soft to touch, it doesn't have any microphonics, and it comes free in the box itself. But what makes this cable really special is that it comes with a super convenient swappable termination. What that means is that you don't need different cables to use with different outputs. You can just swap the plug out and get yourself a 3.5 mm plug to use along with any standard DAC or mobile phone or laptop. And if you want to use it along with a balanced DAC, you simply have to swap out the plug and put in a 4.4 mm plug or a 2.5 mm plug. The box includes all 3 standard connectors: 2.5 mm balanced, 3.5 mm unbalanced, and the 4.4 mm Pentacon balanced connector right here. So you quite literally don't have to buy any cables or connectors after this, no matter what source you're using. Also included in the box is an incredible 9 sets of ear tips, all of them in different sizes and coming in different materials. You've got 3 sets of foam ear tips in small, medium, and large, and the foam ear tips are great for giving you a beautiful isolated sound as well as getting you a really nice perfect fit. I love using the foam ear tips, and it comes in 3 different sizes, so there's one for almost everyone out there. There are also 6 sets of silicone ear tips in different sizes and with different thicknesses of material, and I'm sure that if you threw a little bit of trial and error, one of them is going to be absolutely perfect for you. And in addition to the 9 ear tips, you even get what is a very convenient cleaning tool and brush included in the box, which I thought was a beautiful touch from Oriveti. It makes life so much more easier to be able to maintain these earphones and clean them on the go. Now, all of this is stored in a very convenient leather carry case, and this is made out of genuine leather, guys. It's a beautiful carry case that has almost everything in there, and it allows you to carry these earphones and the accessories on the go very, very easily. All in all, if you look at the package, the balanced cable, the ear tips, the interchangeable plugs, the cleaning tools, and the leather case, you're getting phenomenal value for the 10,000 rupees that the OD200 is priced at. All right, so let's talk about the sound. I think the sound is the main reason why somebody should get these earphones. And if I had to describe the sound signature, I don't think that there's an easy way to describe it except to say that it's probably one of the best sounding earphones at even twice the price. I'm hard pressed to make a stronger recommendation than the Oriveti Headphone Zone OD200 as compared to any other IEM less than 2,000 rupees. And it's for good reason. Now, in terms of specifications, it may not tell you much because it's a single dynamic driver IEM. Now, when you consider that at even 1/10 the price, you get IEMs with 2, 3, 4 drivers, one must ask themselves, why a single dynamic driver? And the answer is quite literally down to the quality of not just the driver, but the way that the sound is channeled through the body of this earphone. Now, Oriveti has a beryllium coated dynamic driver that they're using here, and it's a really, really beautifully tuned dynamic driver, one that brings out all the frequencies right from the lowest sub-bass frequencies to the highest treble and air frequencies, and it does justice to all of them. Oriveti's contribution to make this driver even better is to be able to channel the sound through a very carefully crafted sound port inside the shell of these IEMs. And Oriveti's belief is that the way that the air channels through the earphone's body itself makes a big difference to the sound signature. The overall sound signature of the OD200 can only be described as absolutely balanced, where each frequency along the spectrum is given its due space, its due respect, and all the sounds are perfectly balanced so that no one frequency overpowers any other. Now, even then, Oriveti has given you the option of tuning this particular IEM finally to suit your individual preference and your individual sound signature. This is something that's really, really important because no two people have the same preferences for their sound signature. Everybody likes something that is more suited for what kind of music they're listening to and the way they want that music to sound. So the Oriveti Headphone Zone OD200 comes along with 2 tuning filters. There's a black one and there's a silver one. I think that the silver filter just cools off the treble just a little bit. So if you're someone who's a little bit sensitive to having a little bit harshness and sharpness to the sound, the silver filter fixes that beautifully. The black tuning filter, on the other hand, gives you a very neutral analytical sound signature. So while the bass doesn't sound too much, you'll find that the focus is definitely on the upper mid-range, the vocals, and the treble. And at this segment, you'll find that the earphone starts sounding very, very energetic, and it's a lot of fun to listen to if you haven't heard something like this before. For a lot of people who listen to music which needs just a little bit more detail to be presented, that they like to just be able to dive one level deeper to be able to hear the nuances in the sound, the black filter is my recommendation. The highlight for me in terms of sound signature of the OD200 has to be the mid-range. Just the rich details and nuance that you're going to hear on the vocals and the instruments. It's unlike anything you would have heard at any comparable IEM in this segment. It comes from just this beautiful beryllium coated dynamic driver that they're using and everything that they've done internally to make the mid-range sound so natural and vocal sound so beautiful. I think the Oriveti OD200 has probably one of the most detailed and nuanced mid-ranges out there. So if you're someone who's looking for a vocal forward IEM, somebody who wants to be able to hear a little bit more richness and detail in the instruments, this IEM is going to give you an experience unlike any you've heard before. Now, I have to tell you, It's not the kind of IEM that I would recommend to people who are massive bass heads, who want a huge amount of bass pumping into their ears. It's not a party headphone. But when you hear the bass is going to sound very textured, very nuanced. You're going to be able to hear the nature of the bass with the nature of the instrument rather than just hearing the power being pumped into your ear. For me, I always thought that more bass is better bass. But it wasn't until I heard the OD200 that I understood that you can get better bass without needing more bass. And this IEM for me is now the perfect amount of energy as well as detail. I want to try and maybe compare the sound of the OD200 to a bunch of other IEMs in this segment so that you have some reference points to be able to understand what I'm talking about. Let's compare this to the Meze Alba, the hottest IEM of this year, priced at the exact same price of less than 10,000 rupees. I think as compared to the Meze Alba, the OD200 is just a little bit more forward, a little crisper, a little sharper. So it's got that little bit of an edge to it, which makes it sound so much more detailed and interesting. The Meze Alba is a little bit more fun, but also a little bit more laid back. So I would say that that's probably the point of reference that you can probably take away from. All right, the other IEM I want to compare this to is the very, very popular Moondrop Aria 2. Again, in a similar segment with a similar specification and tuned to a very similar sound signature. Now, the biggest difference that you're going to hear between the Moondrop Aria 2 and the Headphone Zone Oriveti OD200 is that the OD200 has a much wider sound stage. The instruments sound like they're coming from a little bit of a distance and therefore have more layers. It's just easier to be able to pull apart each of the instruments and sounds to be able to visualize them as compared to the Aria 2, which sounds so much more narrower and some would say more congested as a result. So only and only for that reason, I think that the OD200 is my preference. All right, I want to also compare it to the very, very popular Sennheiser IE200, which is in the same price segment from Sennheiser. It's a single dynamic driver, just like the OD200, but that's where the similarities end. In virtually every way, I think that the OD200 just sounds so much better than the Sennheiser IE200 that I don't even think it's a fair comparison in any way. If anyone were to listen to both of them side by side, they'd tell you the exact same thing. But what you should know is that the IE200 is made out of plastic rather than metal, and therefore it's also a lot lighter. So if you're someone who's bothered by a well-machined single aluminium shelled IEM only because of its weight, then sure, the Sennheiser IE200 should make for a more comfortable listen on the go. All right, a whole bunch of frequently asked questions that I anticipate in the comment section, and therefore I'm going to be able to answer those right off the bat. The first one is, do you need a portable DAC and amp to be able to use these IEMs? The answer is no. They're very easy to drive, so you can use a standard 3.5mm plug that's included in these IEMs and plug them into your laptop or smartphone to listen to music on the go. If you're using the Headphone Zone XDD Hi-Fi high-res DAC, it works perfectly well along with that as well. But my recommendation is to use a balanced DAC with a 2.5mm or a 4.4mm balanced output, only and only because you have a balanced cable with both those plugs and connectors included in the package. So pairing it along with the balanced DAC should make a big difference to the sound. It'll make the bass so much tighter, it'll make the sound stage just a little wider, and it gives the IEMs a little bit more control to be able to bring out the best from the dynamic driver. The second question, do these IEMs need a burn-in before you listen to them? And the answer is yes. And the reason for that is very simple. It uses a beryllium coated dynamic driver. Dynamic drivers need to move very, very seamlessly for them to be able to produce sound in an effortless manner. And you typically find that when the IEM comes right out of the box, straight from the factory, it gets a little stiff and the moving parts don't move as easily. And when you give them a burn-in overnight, I tend to find that the IEMs just cool off with that harshness a little bit and become a little bit more natural sounding, and the bass just becomes a little bit fuller because the entire driver seems to be moving in the most optimum way. Now, I know a whole bunch of people out there are going to call out that burn-in doesn't work, but in this particular case, I highly recommend that you give these IEMs an overnight burn-in before you listen to them in the morning, and I think it should sound a lot nicer. FAQ number 3 that I anticipate, that even though these IEMs have just one single dynamic driver and my old KZs come with 2 drivers in a hybrid configuration, will this IEM sound better? And the answer is yes. It's not the number of drivers alone, it's just the quality of the driver that makes a bigger difference to the sound. Okay guys, that's everything that I wanted to tell you about the Headphone Zone Oriveti OD200. It's a collaboration that I'm very, very proud of. I genuinely believe that Oriveti makes some beautiful IEMs that sometimes go a little unnoticed, and I'm very happy to be able to make what I think was an amazing IEM released by Oriveti last year, now affordable enough for almost everybody in the Indian audiophile community to be able to get their hands on at some point of time. It looks beautiful, it's minimalistic, it comes with an amazing package of accessories, right from the balanced cable to the ear tips to the leather carry case and the cleaning tip and the interchangeable plugs. It allows you to customize a very well-balanced sound signature for your preference a little bit, with the silver filter giving you a little bit more bass and more energy for audiophiles, and a black filter for the purists, musicians, and people looking for a more analytical sound. So in virtually every way, I think that this is the perfect IEM, and at the price, an absolute winner. I would love to have all of you come and try this out for yourself, either at the Headphone Zone Experience Studio in the suburbs of Mumbai if you're in town, or at a Headphone Connect event happening at a city near you. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of people talking about these IEMs, and I can't wait to hear what you think about them in the comment section. Thank you so much. See you next time.